Hey guys, my name is Wes, and you're watching Wes Nichols TV, and today I'm reviewing The Accountant. The Accountant is a 2016 drama thriller with some action in there. It is directed by Gavin O'Connor and stars Ben Affleck, J.K. Simmons, and John Bernthal, who, everybody in this film, they were all great, and as far as acting goes, Ben Affleck gives a very flat performance, but that's by design. You can just tell the way he's portraying it. It's similar to how he was in Gone Girl, where had he been too emotional, had you seen too many of his emotional swings in it, it would not have worked. He's playing a guy who struggles with emotions, and so you really see the moments that he expresses a little bit, it means something, and I thought he was great in this role. J.K. Simmons has the big emotional scene. Of everybody in this film, there's one scene where they really kind of press him to have emotions, and he kills it. He just delivers on that scene, and his performance overall is great, as you expect from J.K. Simmons. Now, John Bernthal, it's a different story. Whereas Ben Affleck had to be very flat, I thought that they needed him to be the charismatic guy, the guy who was kind of cracking some jokes a little bit, but something about him, you liked him. And you did. I really enjoyed it every time he was on the screen. I wanted to see more stuff with him than we got to see, but from the first time he shows up to the very last scene you see him in, you like this character, even if you aren't supposed to like the show. You like this character and you want to see more of him, and that's a great thing to have. The main storyline was something I also enjoyed in this. While I will admit, some might call this main plotline as fairly dull, I found myself intrigued by it. I found myself constantly wondering, how did this person become who he was? And they delivered that through flashback sequences and explain, this is where he was, this is how he got to here. And they do that throughout the film. I would have liked to see more of them, to be honest. I really enjoyed every little bit of flashbacks we got in this movie. I enjoyed watching from where the film starts to where it ends and this overall story. I thought it was great. I really enjoyed that. But this film, over everything else in the movie, is highlighted by its action sequences. Now, every gunshot, every punch, it all feels powerful. The sound design, everything they used made each hit, every shotgun shell, anything, it all felt like it made impact, and that's a huge positive to the movie. On top of that, everything is very clear. There's no, well, I think he hit that guy, or, oh, I think that person got shot. No. Gavin O'Connor did Warrior. The guy knows how to shoot combat, and he does a great job as well in this. I found myself just every time there was an action sequence, just being glued to the screen. If you were bored by any of the other stuff going on in this movie, this is what you came for. This is going to be what kind of pulls you back and going, that movie was pretty good. There's especially a scene later on in the film, just a great action sequence in the final battle that I really liked. There's a certain kill scene that I was like, that's unique. I was like, whoa. I was like, wow, right in the screen. But this movie's not perfect. There are plenty of negatives. And the first being that there wasn't enough of this great action. It's pretty well contained to a certain area of the film. But they should have, whether it be through the flashbacks they were using, or whether it had been any point in the waste of screen time, and something we talk about later on, they should have put in more of the action sequences early on. The first half of the film is admittedly, while I enjoyed it, I can see why a lot of people will call it dull. You toss in one or two short 3-minute action sequences in a flashback in modern times, whatever. And I feel like that would have kept the people who are kind of disengaged now back into the film, and they would have been hooked until the end where you give them what they really wanted, and then they leave glowing about this film rather than saying it was okay. My next negative, there's the secondary story, the cops who are kind of trying to find out who this accountant guy that you see from the trailers. I'm going to give a small spoiler here, very, very small. I felt it was very boring. This is where I understand the dullness from, because half of their screen time is looking at computers and analyzing an audio file or a video file and going, oh, who is that guy? That guy, well, he's doing this with this thing. I thought that was pretty boring. I kind of checked out a little bit when that's what happened. They pulled me back into the main storyline, but whenever that's what's happening, I was half and half to the lower half. You take out those scenes, put in the action sequences or another flashback, I think you have me even more engaged than I was throughout the film. That I was already engaged in pretty well. My next negative is that this movie does have an antagonist in theory. You see a person throughout the film, you're like, okay, that's the bad guy. That's the guy who our protagonist, our hero, is going to be going up against. And it works really well all up until towards the end, where it just doesn't. Like, you're anticipating this great moment, this big fight, and to me, it just didn't really work out the way I had hoped it would, and that kind of killed some of the momentum that this film had really going for it. Then my last really negative is there's two small twists. The first twist kind of bothers me. Well, it does lead to, admittedly, a solid moment in the film that I ended up smiling about. It gave me the feels, so they accomplished what I think they were trying to get here. On the negative end, it stole something from this film that I thought I really wanted, and I feel like I still really want, so that is my negative. I feel like they could have done that in a slightly different way maybe to give me something, but it really didn't. Not a huge fan of the first one. Second twist, though, it's a smaller twist, but I did dig that. I thought that was kind of cool. But I added it all up in my head. I really did enjoy this film. I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. But that's just my opinion. I want to know yours. What did you think about it? Let me know in the comment section down below. And if you liked this video, click the like button right over here. Click subscribe right over there to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Wes Nichols TV. Get all of my reviews. Speaking of which, I'm going to put the Jason Bourne review right here so you can see which thriller action film did I like more. Did I prefer The Accountant or did I like Jason Bourne more? Watch that video to find out. You can follow me on Twitter at WesNichols14, and you can share mine on social media anywhere in the world. Reddit, I don't care. Whatever you are on, that weird new British site that's popping up, do it on that one. My name's Wes. You're watching Wes Nichols TV. Have a great night, guys. Bye.